All right. All right, good humans. Woo!
Hi.
Hello, hello, hello. I am here with the amazing Samantha Barash. I am so honored. She is going to be on our panel for this coming Thursday's the live taping of the Ber-Henda Williams show.
Mm.
And she was an amazing guest on Soul of a Lead Her, the podcast for She Who Lives and Works from the Soul. And so I thought it was so important, especially right now, to have her come back, to have her in a studio audience, in front of a live studio audience, because of her work as an intuitive eating coach, but also the warm and wonderful healing space that she has opened
Mm.
for other practitioners who are in the wellness and mental health space, the Practice Collective.
Mm.
And I thought it was important because I'm also seeing this. We're all seeing this. We're seeing this consistent bombardment of multiple genocides on the planet right now. We're also in the wake of continuous unjustified deportation. We're seeing groups of people being solely targeted because of the identities that they hold. And
Mhm.
so I thought that as we look at history, right, when we look at like this long view of history, where there has been
Mhm.
solidarity amongst Black folk, solidarity amongst Black and Palestinian folks, Black and Asian, Black and Latino,
Mhm.
the amazing scholarship of Kimberly Crenshaw, who coined the phrase intersectionality. But sisters like Angela Davis, who have been doing the work, um, for forever, and this idea of bringing together the femme through the lens of social economics, through race and gender orientation, ability, all of it.
Mm.
And so this invitation, we do have a full house. I'm super excited. So we are at capacity for this Thursday. So definitely you'll have to catch it on YouTube where you'll be able to see the Ber-Henda Williams show in its entirety. We have invited and I want to continue to lift up. This is an inclusive space. So, regardless to who is on the panel, I do want to name that as audience members, we want all genders, we want all races, we want all orientations, we want all faiths
Mm.
to join us in the conversation. So, without further ado, I'm going to open it up to Samantha Barash and why Samantha, you said yes to being on this panel, and if you can also ground and center the calling that you have on your life to do the amazing work that you're doing in the world.
Mm. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm honored to be invited or to be asked to be on this panel, first and foremost. It feels so needed right now for us to have these spaces of connection. And, when I think of the last few years, when I think of you know, the last many decades, but more specifically the last few years, it feels more and more that our work it all just comes back to taking care of each other, right? And connecting with each other and providing that community care so that we can continue to support each other, but also like this greater work that we're doing, right? And I feel just so beyond honored to be able to be in community with you and on this panel on Thursday and to have this like engagement with like a live audience at the same time, right? Because it just feels like if we don't have community, if we don't have each other through these, like, what do we have? How do we keep going, right?
Mhm.
And that feels more and more clear, especially coming up to this Thursday.
Mhm. And I think, when we talk about identities and all the identities that we hold, um, you and I both come from lineages where we are communal just in nature,
Mm.
right? The identity of those who hold African ancestry, those who hold Palestinian ancestry, we have Filipina, Latina ancestry. We're all communal people.
Mm.
When we are not just faced with opposition, we also celebrate,
Yeah.
right? We also have, and I also want to remind people too that I know it can be hard, but what I admire so much about the resolve of the Palestinian people, I still see a fervent devotion to God,
Mm.
other, to dance, to culture,
Mhm.
even in the face of opposition. And
Mhm.
in my lineage, Congo Square in New Orleans, Sundays where the day of rest, if you can imagine, it's even hard to say. It's like, oh, so what, they gave you a whole Sunday off. But even in those moments, the songs, the hymns, the praise, those things
Mhm.
are indigenous to my blood. So I know that when times get rough, we have blueprints, we have medicine
Mhm.
to help pull us through. So if you could maybe share some of your practices that
Mm.
help to pull you through.
Oof. Is that in work or is that in play? Or
In
maybe
in
both.
all of it. In all of it, because I just feel like in every waking moment, if we open up our apps, right, there's gonna be a story, there's going to be a post, there's going to be something that can be jarring.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing a lot of people taking prolonged absences from socials. They'll come back, they'll reemerge, and they have been off for maybe weeks or some in cases months. I even have some friends who have abandoned them altogether because it's just the flooding of the nervous system has been too much. So wherever you want to take us in terms of what
Mm.
pulls you through, take us there.
Knowing that my ancestors haven't gone through everything that they've done for me not to keep going and pushing through, right?
Mm,
I am the generation of resources that I get to put it into action, right? They did what they could with what they had, and now I have these things in front of me, and I have, like, just the privilege and the gift of being able to put those energies that they didn't have the resources for to do into the world. I was having a conversation with someone earlier today, and they asked how much of my work feels like ancestral work. And it was like, I don't know what part of my work that doesn't feel like ancestral
wow.
work, right? It just feels like, of course, it's all I know. It's all we've been taught. It's what we have to do. And it feels like such a gift. And
Mhm.
also, I think more recently what I've understood though is how to find community and connection to keep going through those gifts, right?
Yep.
Because if we don't have each other and if we don't have this connection, like what is it all for,
Mhm.
right?
That's right.
That's the sustainability of it.
And that's
It's
what
just
the opposition doesn't want, is
mhm,
that unity and
mhm,
solidarity. And,
mhm,
you know, with us, our communities, um, there has been definitely tenuous relationships,
mm.
particularly when we think about um, gas station, drugstore, um,
Mm,
interactions, right?
sure.
Yeah. However, if we really look at the long game historically, which they do not teach in school, we have moved together.
Yeah.
In the wake of George Floyd, we watched this lightning rod moment, but we did watch our Palestinian family, our Middle Eastern families,
Mm,
um, mourn with us
yeah.
at the
Yeah.
site, feel it on a cellular level,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I mentioned earlier Angela Davis's work, because I've been doing a lot of research on this particular topic and found that there was a publication called Third World Alliance, where it was Black, Asian, um, Latino, and Middle Eastern women all together
Uh-huh.
on this basis of lifting what white feminism had not.
Mhm.
the plight and existence in ways that white feminism had not traditionally spoken to and included
Yeah.
the voices of color. And I believe it started in 1969 and ran to about 1980. So I do want to level set that
Mm,
our love for each other
mm,
and necessity to be in community together is not a new idea,
yeah.
but unfortunately, um, stereotypes and, for lack of a better word, ignorance keeps us polarized and keeps us separate. And if we really want to name it, white supremacist delusion is what keeps us all bound. And it
Yeah.
doesn't even benefit white people either. No form of oppression, even the oppressor isn't free.
Yeah.
Right? I know that. I had to do a deep on that too, friend. Like,
Mhm,
right? Like,
mhm,
you don't benefit from it.
mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Like, and how else can we do this but not to take care of each other,
That's right.
right?
Hmm.
And I having guidance and looking up to Black women who have been doing this work has helped me to be able to stay in that alignment with, like, how do you do the work and also find joy, right? Or how do you continue to show up for yourself and each other, right? How do I know that this isn't about me, but a bigger purpose and more of like a community care of what needs to happen? And like, nobody's going to save us, right? We got to do it for each other.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I
Oh my goodness. Yes.
yeah, I tell the story of I opened the Practice Collective, which is a shared co-working space for mental health and wellness providers in 2023. And it was in the spring. It's in the same building that my father has done maintenance in for the last 10 years. Oh, I didn't tell you that ever? Mm.
Oh, I didn't know that part. Okay. So come, yes, what part of our work is not ancestral?
Totally, totally. But it was this moment of people often ask me, like, how did you start this? Like, where did this come from? And it's like, it was a moment of looking at my dad and being realistic of like, dad, how much work is this going to take? Like, do you have this in you? And him giving me this look of like, Sam, I want to do this, where it was like, oh, I get it here, right?
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be thought out. It doesn't have to be methodical. This is my work. Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And we opened on September 20th, 2023. Right. And I had a moment of like, what in the world am I doing? I just opened a whole nother business.
Mhm.
And what is this going to come with? What's my plan here? But it fit. I'm a very thoughtful person. I'm a very methodical person. And nothing about me doing this has made sense. Right.
Oh yeah, because it's not logical. This is not based in, you know, Western logic and sense.
Mm-hmm.
And not that we want to dismiss logic and sense, because I mean we do need to, as business owners, also be um prudent and practical about how we spend our resources. However, when you're a spirit-led person,
Mm-hmm.
nothing that you do or have been called to is going to make sense. Your soul spoke to you in those soulful whispers that said, "Do it. Go
Yeah.
here, go there." Resources, your dad. And you're like,
Mm-hmm.
"Dad." His spirit said, "Of course.
Mm-hmm.
This is legacy work. Why? I mean, you're my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm duty bound to do this for you."
Mm-hmm.
And isn't that a shift, that when we're duty bound
Mm.
to love and to serve, when we're obligated, when we know that this is a cosmic obligation to fulfill, like there's a blueprint, right?
Yeah.
Like almost like a soul contract. Like
Mhm.
before we are even placed into our mother's wombs, we have this, yeah, right? That just
Yeah, through and through, through and through. I have no doubt in that, right? I have no doubt in that. We didn't, of course we worked hard to become entrepreneurs and to be able to like have these gifts and do this work. But also this was not our choice. Like this was our destiny, right? Like this is
Woo.
what there was not like an active day where it was like, I'm going to go into this, right? This has been built into us from
Mhm.
before we were even in existence, right?
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. That's
Yeah.
right. You
Mm,
got you got it. So I have no doubt that come Thursday, um, the portal will be open. Um, you will be joining us. We have such an amazing lineup of feminine leadership, but also I would say in each way you all hold a revolutionary spirit, an activist spirit, whether it's social economics, community organizing, film and storytelling, uh, you know, what health and wellness. There's just so much here. So I hope that everyone that is coming, if you've purchased your ticket, you're just as excited as I am to be in conversation, because immediately afterward, we will have a networking, which gives the audience an opportunity to interface with y'all um, in a more intentional and deeper way. And Spirit revealed to me as I've been doing this work that I'm not building an audience, I'm building a community.
mm,
This media initiative is about communal care, mutual aid,
mhm.
lived experience being honored.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm so pumped.
yeah, me too. So I cannot wait to have you. So, Samantha, where can people find out more about you and the work that you do?
You can find us on Instagram at practice-collective. It might be practice.collective. Yeah, it's practice.collective. It's Monday. Um,
It's Monday, and hey, they can Google it if they, for just for for poops and ha-has to make sure that they get it right. They can Google you and Practice Collective, and I know all of the socials will show up.
mm, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's
Thank
right.
you.
Of course, and then of course, right here, um, on my platform, we'll have more information about you and how we can find more about Samantha and the work that she does. So again, I am so honored that you said yes to have you on this panel to go deeper into conversation and why. And then of course, the calls to action, right? Because I think that it's wonderful, yes, to have conversation and yes, to be in community. And we want our hearts and our spirits to be watered and to feel good. But it's like what's next? Where do we go from here? How do we continue the work
Mhm,
and supporting the work? In the African American church tradition, we say time, talent, and treasure. Where can you
mhm,
lend your time, your talent, your treasure? And I think that that is a good starting point to think about what do we have resource wise that we can contribute to the greater good and be in solidarity and commitment to each other. So
mm.
yeah. So Sam,
That's
yeah, listen, it's just in the DNA, it's in the bloodline. I can't
mhm,
take credit for it. I'm just living it and just doing my best to follow through on my soul contract.
yeah.
So Sam, I'm so happy to have you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on Saturday, on not Saturday, on Thursday.
Uh-huh.
And for those of you who are joining online, um, please, I would say get your ticket, but we're sold out. But I will say, if you would like to contribute to the cause, you can still purchase, and you can email me directly on ways. We do have sponsorship available. So, with that being said, you can support the movement because this is not the last conversation. We want to continue the work because I am a firm believer whoever controls the media controls the narrative, and we are
Mhm,
telling our own stories.
mm.
All right, Sam, from the bottom of my heart, love you. Can't wait to see you. Um, Tune in, y'all, here right here on YouTube, and Facebook and all other platforms, because we'll be having more details and ways for you to get involved. But of course, also watch the episode. So, Sam, thank you again.
Thank you. See you on Thursday.
See you on Thursday.
Mm.